Hello friends, welcome back to another easy DIY video. We're going to get straight to it. For this first one, I'm using this house that I think was originally from Hobby Lobby that I picked up on clearance and had previously painted it and used it in a DIY. And we're going to repaint it. I'm just going to paint it white, although the pink actually could have worked for this DIY. But anyways, you can also get some plain wood house pieces from Dollar Tree, and I've seen them I'm sure you can get them other places as well, or you could just cut a scrap piece of wood. This first DIY is going to be super quick and easy. It's using some window clings. The second DIY is a little bit longer, a little bit more detailed, but easy and super, super cute. At least I thought so. So now we're going to just take these window clings and I'm going to cut around the edge because it has a slightly tinted edge. And on one of my other DIYs, a subscriber told me, or a commenter, I guess I don't know for sure if they're subscribed, but suggested that I try cutting that off while it was still on the cardboard, like the thicker backing. And I thought that was a really good suggestion. So I did that and it was a lot easier. And we're just going to cut around the pieces that I'm going to use. I'm going to use 3 of those window clings all together. They are from the Dollar Tree. I had mentioned in another video that I'm hoping to do some more like gingerbread themed stuff in my kitchen, so I've been working on getting some more DIYs done for that. So that's what this one is for, but you could of course use any window cling things that you wanted, and we're just going to use some good old Mod Podge and Mod Podge them on the back. Once you put it on, it's still a little bit movable, which is nice. And then I just put a little bit over the top. You can do more or less, whatever you want to do. And that is really kind of it for this DIY. I did add on this little bow on top just because I wanted, I don't know, one more little detail. This is from a pack from Dollar Tree. They're red and green bows, glittery. And I bought them, I don't know, a couple years ago. But there it is. I thought that's going to be really cute for my little gingerbread themed area. All right, moving on to the next one. This is the last one for the video. It's a longer DIY, but don't worry, don't be intimidated. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed making it. I have this little house bank piece. You can see the little slit at the top, and this is from the Dollar Tree. I've had this for a while. We're gonna come back to the paper backing later. I've got the little razor blade from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to scrape off the wording here. This comes off pretty easily. It took a little bit of time. Obviously this is sped up a bit, but we're just going to clean that up and then just, wipe it down to make sure we don't leave any little pink specks behind. Now I'm going to go around the inside of this and give it a couple coats of white Waverly chalk paint. Just make sure that it's dry first before you put on a second coating, so that it doesn't pull back off, because this is just like a cheap plastic. The outside is textured and that took the paint a little bit easier, but this does not have to be perfect. It's not going to be seen that well. This is just to make sure that it's, it has a little bit of a brighter inside, but it does not need to be, the details of it is not super important. And then we're going to paint the outside with Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson, and this also took a couple of coats. If you are new here, my name is Leanne and I enjoy sharing budget-friendly, easy DIYs with you. I do a lot of Dollar Tree DIYs, but oftentimes Hobby Lobby has just as good prices, if not better. Sometimes some thrift store or upcycling stuff, so whatever I can find to do on a budget. On this part here, I am going to do kind of the inner part that is near the plexiglass, or whatever that plastic front is. And I didn't want there to be any black. And at first I was trying to be really hard to not get any paint on it, and then I realized I can just go in with the razor blade, which I did, and cleaned it up. So give that a couple coats until it's got the coverage that you want. And then this paper I wanted to peel off. Probably wasn't super, super important, but I used my hairdryer to heat it up, and I scraped it off using this little tool, which is from the Dollar Tree. I think it's supposed to be like a mimic of a Cricut tool. I don't know. I don't have a Cricut, but I grabbed a bunch of those tools from the Dollar Tree because they still come in handy. So we're going to just do our best. It's going to still have like some sticky residue, but it doesn't matter because we're going to cover it up. So you probably could have just covered it up to begin with. I don't know. I pulled out this scrapbook piece of paper. I pulled out one that I didn't think I was likely to use as much because I just wanted the back, the white part of it. So we're just going to trace it and cut it out, trim it down to fit inside. It's not going to go all the way to the edges because there's little clips there. And I ended up using the little checkered pattern as my guide to trim it down. I was like, oh, this will help me stay straight. And I have a Gorilla Glue stick. I love this thing. I think I got it at like Marshall's or something random like that. You could use a regular glue stick or any glue that you wanted. I'm going to have to figure out where to buy more of this Gorilla Glue stick though, because I love it. And we're just going to put this paper down and then set that to the side. We'll come back to that again at the end. I really hope you guys enjoy this. We're making kind of a little scene shadow box thing. There's various signs at Dollar Tree that you could do this with. It doesn't have to be a house shaped. But I've had this for a while, and once I started pulling this all together, I was kind of excited. So I have this little 3D wood kit from the Dollar Tree. I have a couple of them. This one has the trees and snowman and a couple other things, but we're just going to use these 2 pieces. So I'm just using a cutting mat, a straight edge, and a razor blade to trim off the bottom because it was going to be a little bit too tall. And then I'm going to paint the trees. This is what takes a little bit of time, but it's not hard. It's very relaxing. But I'm going to paint the trees with fern, and we're going to use burnt umber by Apple Barrel for the trunk. We're going to paint the bottom where the snow would be in white, and we're just going to paint all of these pieces. And a lot of my DIYs are a little bit quicker than this, but like I said, this one is still easy. It's not complicated, and of course you could change this up to like using different items and to your style and preference. So now we're moving on to the snowman, and I'm painting obviously the snowman white. At first I was trying to paint around the buttons, but you'll see. It's all right. You'll see how it comes out on the end. The little cardinal on the snowman's head in the crimson. This looks a little bit grainy to me, and I don't know why. And then we're going to use that fern color again for the scarf. And then we'll paint the hat black. On and on it goes. If you are enjoying this video, if you like these DIYs, if you like budget-friendly, easy DIYs, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out so very much. And I would love to have you, give the video a thumbs up, say hello in the comments. Then I'm going to use this little dotting tool to try to do the buttons, and I messed them up. I'm going to use the smaller end to do the eyes on the snowman. That worked good. I'm going to paint over the buttons and redo them with this little fine tip Sharpie. We're going to do the mouth. I also decided to outline the scarf and the mittens to kind of bring back in a little bit of the detail. Just make sure your paint's dry. I just kept using my hair dryer to paint or to try the paint. So yeah, that's what I'm doing there. Just kind of outlining everything. And then I'm going to do the buttons. And then I outlined the carrot nose, although that kind of got covered up when I used the little dotting tool once again. This is from the Dollar Tree, or you could use the back of a paintbrush or a tiny paintbrush as well. So I was showing you there's a little ridge inside the house, so I was cutting out a little notch in my snowman so that would sit flush in there, and it actually came out perfect. It fit on there. It was very easy to do, and it fit on there perfectly. So now we are going to start adding our snow. So it gets messy here. You can skip this part if you want. If you had a pretty sparkly or snowy background, you wouldn't have to do this. We're going to add snow on all the things. I'm using Mod Podge and that faux snow you can get it at Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. It is actually a bit cheaper at Hobby Lobby as it's on sale, and I think a slightly bigger package, but either way, or there's all different types of faux snow. We're gonna do all the things, guys. So we're gonna paint the bottom of the tree base with it too. I just keep cleaning off the edge with my finger because I know I have to glue everything down, and I don't want anything to get in the way of that. So I'm putting a little bit of snow on the bottom, little parts of the tree, not the whole tree. I just wanted it to kind of fall randomly. Sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. I have had a silly little cold. I'm finally feeling much better, but I was going through about a box of tissues or so a day. And it wasn't anything really more than that, but it sure was kind of exhausting. Anyways, we're going to also just do a tiny bit on the top and the brim of the snowman's hat. And we just wanted to add little bits of this all over the place. Then we want to cover up the little hole in the top that was supposed to be the bank. So I'm just going to take a big popsicle stick. I just broke it. You could cut it. And I'm going to hot glue that on the inside because we're going to put some snow on top of the roof, and this will prevent the snow from falling through, and it will help us cover up that opening. So I first use a bunch of hot glue there to just kind of fill it in more. And then we're going to go in with Mod Podge, and I did the roof, I did the front of the roof as well. And I just did it thicker in some places than others, just because I feel like that's kind of how snow sometimes looks, but you feel free to do this however you want. And I'm showing you these little bottle brush trees from the Dollar Tree, but I only had one of the green ones and I really wanted to use a green tree. So I pulled some off of those truck ornaments. They're from Dollar Tree from a couple years ago. I think Walmart's had them as well. So now we're going to assemble everything. I'm put a solid amount of hot glue, and we are going to, I just kind of put like a mound of it and then push the snowman down in it and then put it all around. And you just have to hold it until it dries. And then I did put a little more hot glue, and I'm just sprinkling some snow in as we go. You got to start obviously from the front to the back. So I'd already laid out where I wanted everything. Same thing with these little trees. They do not have a base, so I'm pulling all of those hot glue strings. Those things drive me nuts. I put a mound of hot glue, then like I said, put the tree down in it. This was hard for me because I don't have a lot of patience when it comes to my DIYs. Oddly enough, I have patience in like other areas, but I really just want to keep moving. But you really do have to just hold everything in place until the hot glue starts to set. So it's worth it. This was the best way I could come up with. I guess super glue gel would have been a good option as well, but you probably, maybe a combination of both would have been good. But anyways, now we're going to do a really thick line in the back. I'm just paying attention to where the back piece will go in because obviously I don't want to mess that up. And we're going to knock it over, and then we're going to put the trees down in that back line there. And I've just continued to do this with all the pieces. Hot glue, putting it down in, holding it, put a little bit more glue in to reinforce it, and then I throw some faux snow on top to kind of disguise the hot glue. And I just kind of shook it around and then shook out the extra. So here you go. I tried to give you a little bit of a better shot of what I was doing, but obviously you don't have to do it exactly this way, but the idea is to show you what I'm doing. So this is what I did. And then we're just going to pop the back in, and the roof is a little bit still wet, which is why the Mod Podge looks like that. But I love how this came out. I thought this was adorable. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and happy Thanksgiving, guys.